So, why is your baby's playtime so absolutely crucial for their health and physical development? It's a question that crosses the mind of pretty much every single new parent, usually when you're staring down at a playmat, just wondering, am I actually doing this right? Well, the truth is, early play isn't just about killing time or having fun. It's literally the foundational building block for your child's entire physical future. Welcome to today's Explainer. We're diving into demystifying tummy time, the science of infant play. We're going to breeze through the actual hard science behind why this matters, look at the physical milestones it unlocks, and, maybe most importantly, go over some real-world, parent-tested solutions for when your baby inevitably decides they completely hate the whole idea. Let's get into it. To really wrap our heads around why tummy time is such a modern necessity, we actually have to rewind a bit to 1994. That year, the US launched a massive nationwide campaign called Back to Sleep to help reduce the risk of sudden infant death syndrome, or SIDS. And it was a total game changer. The number of infants passing away from SIDS dropped by more than half, which is amazing, right? But, like with any big shift, there was a major ripple effect. Because babies were now safely sleeping on their backs all night, they suddenly lost out on roughly 12 hours of daily stomach time. Add in the modern convenience of infant swings, car seats, and bouncy chairs, and suddenly babies were spending practically 100% of their time on their backs. This totally unintended consequence led to a spike in motor delays. So the counter movement, tummy to play, became absolutely essential to keep development on track. And missing out on all that stomach time actually has a very direct physical impact. See, when babies spend long, continuous hours asleep on their backs or awake in those infant seats, they run a really high risk for a condition called positional plagiocephaly. Now, because a newborn's skull is incredibly soft and malleable in those early months, constant pressure on the back of the head can easily cause these noticeable flat spots. On top of that, not moving their head around enough can lead to torticollis. That's basically just tight neck muscles that make it really hard for a baby to turn their head from side to side. Regular tummy time is the absolute best, proactive way to stop both of these conditions in their tracks. Now, you might be thinking, is this just another passing parenting fad? Definitely not. A massive, systematic review published in Pediatrics crunched the numbers from over 4,200 healthy infants across 8 different countries. The science here is just incredibly clear. Tummy time is strongly linked to improved gross motor skills and better overall development. It actually helps lower infant BMI scores, prevents that flat head syndrome we were just talking about, and seriously boosts a baby's ability to crawl, roll, and just move around effectively, whether they're on their stomach or their back. Think of it like a foundational, full-body workout for your little one. So, what does a highly effective session actually look like in the real world? Well, you don't need any fancy or complex equipment. The ideal setup is just a low, safe surface. And crucially, that means the floor, not a soft bed or a squishy sofa where a baby could accidentally roll and suffocate. Just a simple, colorful, visually stimulating playmat on the ground is perfect. And here's the secret sauce. You want to get right down there on the floor, totally eye to eye with them. Babies are literally hardwired to look at faces. Your face is absolutely their favorite toy. So getting down on their level encourages them to lift that surprisingly heavy little head of theirs, engaging all those vital neck, back, and shoulder muscles, all while feeling completely secure because they're looking right at you. Okay, so how much time are we actually talking about here? The American Academy of Pediatrics says you should start the very day you bring your newborn home from the hospital, but keep it super brief at first. For those first 0 to 4 weeks, we're talking just 1 to 2 minutes per session, maybe 2 or 3 times a day. Every single minute counts. By 1 to 2 months, you can stretch those sessions out to about 3 to 5 minutes. Now, when they hit that 3-month mark, the big goal is to accumulate about a full hour of tummy time spread out over the whole day, so think 5 to 10 minute blocks. And by the time they're 4 to 7 months old, they're not just surviving tummy time anymore. They're actively using it as a gym. They'll start straightening their arms to lift their chests off the floor, which builds the exact core strength they're going to need for crawling. All right, let's take a pause and just be completely real for a second. If you've ever actually tried putting a newborn on their stomach, you know it is definitely not always giggles and smiles. Actually, a lot of babies absolutely hate it at first. I found this quote from a parent on the 24 Baby Forum, and it's just so brutally honest. They wrote, "My son really doesn't like lying on his stomach. Results 9 times out of 10 in burping and spitting up." And honestly, fair enough. It is a heavy, strenuous workout for a little baby. Plus, for infants with reflux, where milk easily travels back up, laying completely flat on their belly puts pressure straight onto a full stomach. It can be genuinely uncomfortable for them and honestly, pretty frustrating for you. So how do we get around that?
Well, that same forum had some brilliant real-world troubleshooting from other parents. One parent shared this massive breakthrough. We did tummy time before he got to eat. Only when he was 4 months old did his reflux suddenly lessen and he could finally lie flat normally. That is incredibly strategic. If you time the workout for right after a diaper change or after a nap, but strictly before they eat, their stomach is relatively empty. That drops the chance of spit up way down. Another fantastic tip is to lay the baby on your own chest while you sit leaning back at an incline. Gravity helps keep their food down, they feel safe on you, and they're still doing the work to lift their head. Win-win.
Now, what if your baby has already developed a slight flat spot or maybe those tight neck muscles we talked about? First off, please don't panic. The folks over at Nemours Kids Health have a really fantastic, targeted exercise you can do right in your living room to help stretch things out. It's super simple. Step 1, just lay your baby belly down across your lap. Step 2, purposefully position them so their head is turned away from you. And step 3, use your voice. Talk, sing, make some funny noises, whatever it takes to encourage them to actively turn their head all the way back to look at you. Doing this for just 10 to 15 minutes works as a gentle, at-home physical therapy. It stretches out that tight neck, takes the pressure off the flattened side of their head, and they stay calm because they're right there on your lap.
But hey, if the traditional floor mat is still causing nonstop tears, the California Child Care Health Program suggests a pretty brilliant out-of-the-box alternative. Grab a standard 60-centimeter exercise ball. You just carefully lay the infant over the top of the ball on their tummy. While keeping a very, very secure hold on them, you gently roll the ball back and forth and side to side. It introduces this incredibly soothing rhythm and movement that does absolute wonders for their balance and sensory development. It completely changes their view of the room, removes the hard pressure of the floor, and makes the whole thing feel way more like a fun ride than a strenuous workout. Just, always hold them safely and make sure the little air plug on the ball isn't sticking out as a choking hazard.
Well, we've covered a ton of ground today, right? From the whole history of the back-to-sleep movement to the hard, scientifically proven benefits of building up your baby's core strength early on. We've tackled the very real hurdle of reflux and how simple things like chest inclines or an exercise ball can totally change the game. So I want to leave you with this one thought. Knowing the absolutely critical impact this one little daily habit has on everything from your baby's motor skills to their head shape, how are you going to sneak just a few extra minutes of tummy time into their routine today? Just start small, get right down there on the floor with them, and watch them get a little stronger every single day. Thanks so much for hanging out with me for this explainer, and I'll catch you on the next one.